Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling like you lost, even though you said everything you needed to? That tightness in your chest, that knot in your throat, as if every word you spoke took something away from you instead of giving something back. Maybe you were surrounded by people who spoke louder, faster, sharper, people who interrupted, mocked, or turned every exchange into a performance. And maybe, just maybe, you believed that silence was surrender, that not defending yourself meant defeat, that not reacting was weakness. But what if I told you all of this was an illusion, redefining power? True power was never in speaking. It was in not needing to. Nietzsche, one of the most misinterpreted minds in history, understood something that society still fears. Those who speak too much reveal too much. Those who explain, justify, and plead, they've already lost. Because real strength doesn't explain itself, it doesn't need to. We've been trained to believe every interaction is a debate, a trial, a fight to prove who's right. But nature and Nietzsche offer another way, a quieter, sharper, more lethal path for the overlooked. This message is for you, the one who leaves conversations feeling invisible, the one who stays quiet to keep peace while others weaponize noise, the one who mistakes stillness for weakness. I'm here to tell you, your silence isn't cowardice. It can be your greatest strength. Because real victory doesn't come from winning an argument. It comes from never needing to enter one. The ego and the illusion of reaction. Why do we feel such a need to respond? To explain ourselves? To prove our worth? Because we've been programmed to fear silence. We've been told that if we don't defend ourselves, we let others win. But Nietzsche saw this clearly. The need to explain is the voice of the ego, a fragile ego, desperate for approval, afraid to be misunderstood. Most people argue not to seek truth. They argue to defend their identity, to hold on to a belief that, if questioned, might collapse. The herd and the individual. Nietzsche called this behavior herd morality, the desire to be accepted, to be seen as good, as right, as justified. But acceptance is not strength. Approval is not victory. True power lies in being misunderstood and remaining unshaken. To remain silent is to say, I do not owe you my energy. I do not owe you my words. I am not here to win you over. I am here to win myself, the theater of argument. Every argument is a stage, and the first to rise and perform has already lost. Why? Because the reactive mind is not free. It is ruled by emotion, by impulse, by ego. But the observing mind? That mind is dangerous, because it doesn't react. It watches, and it waits. The Übermensch and the language of silence. Nietzsche's ideal was the Übermensch, the overman, a being of self-mastery, of inner dominance. The Übermensch does not argue. He does not shout. He does not chase validation. He observes. He calculates. He speaks only when a word becomes a blade. And more often, he doesn't speak at all. Because silence to him is language. Not a lack of something, but the presence of everything. Psychological warfare. Silence is not empty. It's a mirror. And when you stop speaking, the other is forced to hear their own voice, their own contradictions, their own fear. Psychologists confirm it. In confrontation, silence is perceived as judgment. It breeds insecurity, doubt, panic. The brain goes into overdrive. Why isn't he reacting? Is she judging me? Did I go too far? In this chaos, the silent one holds the power. Because silence unravels others from within. Silence against manipulation. Manipulators thrive on reaction. They need your response to play their game. But when you don't react, their mask slips. Their power crumbles. Silence is the only resistance they can't control. It cuts deeper than words. Because it exposes what was hidden behind the noise, the dark side of silence. But let me be clear, not all silence is strength. There is another silence, one born not from power, but from fear. The silence of someone who has given up, who has been conditioned to disappear. This silence is not a strategy. It's a symptom of submission, and that's where the danger lies. Because some of you watching this aren't using silence. You are being used by it. From submission to mastery. You need to reclaim your silence. It must stop being a cage and become your sword. Silence must not be where you hide. It must be where you stand. Nietzsche didn't write for the meek. He wrote for those willing to break the chains of expectation, to become something new, something untouchable. Mastering the 4 weapons of silence. There are 4 weapons of true silence. Restraint. Stay silent when your ego screams to speak. Observation. Listen like a hunter, not a victim. Time. Let silence stretch. Let tension do the work. Unpredictability. Become unreadable, and therefore uncontrollable. Final realization. The world does not need more talkers. It needs those who master silence and reign with it. Because silence is not the space between words. It is the voice of someone who no longer needs permission to exist. So I ask you, how many times have you stayed silent out of fear? How many times have you let others speak over your truth? That ends today. Comment below. I choose the silence that commands respect. Say it to affirm it. Not for me, but for you. Because even in silence, you deserve to be heard. Subscribe now if this resonated with you. The next video will take you deeper into the mind of the overman. Because we are just getting started. And remember, the weak shout, the strong stay silent. But the silent who understand their power, they move the world without making a sound.